I had to cultivate like a self-awareness
Hmm.
to even know, to be able to step back and recognize, like, why is this feeling really intense?
It's Pussy Next Door.
Two pussy ladies. Pussy. Okay, y'all. So today we're talking about birth control. Talking about birth control, what that process was like for you if you were on birth control. Talking about, I don't know, maybe I want some babies right now, maybe I don't want some babies right now. And just overall, what's your experience with birth control and what has been working for you? What's that been like? Ooh, well, birth control, like, like back in the day, there were so many, and then there are still so many. So I had the pill, and then I tried the Depo shot. Depo shot was horrible. Why so? Because for me, I was under the impression that it would stop my period, and and at the time that was appealing for me, right? Like I was like in my early 20s, and I thought that was appealing. So I was just like, okay, let me try it. And so like I tried it, and like I remember staying on it for 6 months. And you're supposed to get the depot. So you get the depot, boom, you get it, and then 3 months later, you go back for your second shot. Boom, right? So I did that. I did the first 3 months, and I spotted all 3 months. But the whole time just spotted. And it wasn't like spot panty liner. Sometimes it'd be like spot, am I bleeding, am I not? Or but now my period done came, or what looks like my period. Um, my moods didn't change, but I was always constantly bleeding. So it's like, when you constantly bleeding, you're trying to get it in with your boo. You don't always want to have to lay a fucking towel down or hop in the shower. You feel me? So I was like, all right, maybe it's just because it's my first shot. Let me try it again. So I tried it again for the next 3 months. Yeah, so every 3 months. So for the next 3 months, I was still the same. And I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm off of it. And then from there, like, I stopped. And then I got on actual, like, birth control. Like, so the birth control, I did Yas. Yeah, Yas pill. And that has been pretty constant for me, even, like, with my travels and moving over to China. Like, that has been the constant pill that I've taken. I've been on birth control, the pill, for, oh, it's been blotchy though. It's all blotchy. Yeah, it's on and off. Just because like I like to let my body breathe. So usually like if I'm dating someone seriously, I would get on birth control. If I'm not dating anybody and if I'm just like fucking around, it's condoms for me. I'm that girl. I keep the condom in the bag. Um, but if I'm dating someone seriously, then I'll get on the pill. Um, yeah, like I mean, you don't want to have once again like the mainstream. You don't want to just get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's with somebody you just don't see yourself with, you know? So it's been about maybe since I was like 23, 24 is when I started like my birth control pill contraceptive journey. And then I go through my times where I'm not on the pill for like 2, 3 years, and then I'm back on it. But usually, like, I take breaks in between. I think for me, I just feel more natural to like take breaks with it within the middle of taking my birth control pills, just so then I can check in with my body, see how I'm feeling, and just making sure that the hormones aren't affecting me and my personality and things like that. Cause like, where did it start? To take breaks? Yeah, breaks. To take breaks. Because like I hear stories, in articles where it's just like, oh, if you take Yaz, it can alter your mood swings. Or if you take a Nuvo ring or whatever rings they have on the market at the time, it can cause extreme bloating or acne or like all of these things. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. So just to always check in with myself to make sure that the pills aren't affecting me the way these side effects and what we read about and what we hear about. Um, just to, my own knowledge, make sure I'm good. Sometimes you just gotta keep checking in with yourself. Um, so yeah. Like, I mean, what about y'all? Like, what are y'all thinking? What are your thoughts? Have you guys had any experience with birth control, whether it be pill, what other forms are there? Rings. What's the thing in the arm?
The implant.
Yeah, the implants.
yeah.
The implant.
I remember they had the patch.
They have the patch, they have the sponges.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have the dams too. They have the spermicide. They have abstinence.
That works too.
I feel like I always want there to be more options for women when it comes to birth control. I feel like that sometimes it can feel limiting in some situations, and I've even in the last 15 years, like things are really different than when I was like 20 and going to the doctor and asking what the options were and what they had access to. But I always want as many options for us as possible. I feel that way about period management too, but that's a whole other episode. The But no, for me, I feel like the pill gives me like pretty immediate side effects. Pretty immediate like emotional side effects. So maybe within like 6 months, the times that I've been on it, I would say like within 6 months, I had to cultivate like a self-awareness to even know, to be able to step back and recognize like, why is this feeling really intense? Why am I feeling like this is the weight of whatever's happening feels like so tremendous, and my emotional response is tears, is anger. It feels like really chaotic kind of. And initially I think when I was on it in my 20s, I don't know that I really noticed that shift in myself. I just maybe felt like that was how I was responding to something. And maybe sometimes something was really serious and warranted, a that bigger response. But I found later, after like being off of it for a minute and then being back on it, it was, and having cultivated a little more self-awareness, I was like, oh well, this isn't working for me. Like my emotional response is so intense to a lot of things that when I'm not on it, I think my emotional response is just a little more regulated. Um, I get concerns too about like impacts on like conditions like anxiety, conditions like depression. There are those articles out there, and it really does seem to come down to individuals and how people are affected individually. Checking in with yourself, like you said, how am I feeling? Is this working for me? Is this something, which is so important, because at the same time that birth control, I think, is intended to be like a liberatory option. If we also feel like we have to be on it, then that's not really cool either, So like being able to take those breaks, check in with yourself, have a sense of what's working for you or not. I think recently, and maybe I'll come back to it in a minute because I want to hear from you, but learning how to track my cycle more specifically and with the technology today has been pretty like life-changing for me and in my view of birth control. So say a little bit more about that later.
Awesome.
For me, I think, and we kind of share that same experience at the final piece, I would say. But for me, I was on birth control, the pill. Like, I started birth control on the pill. And when I started my period, like, I don't know, like 14. But anyway, like, I knew of some people that started birth control early. When they first started their period because of like cramps, and it was uncomfortable, and they really couldn't stand the pain. Yeah, it's like they started doing birth control like very early. And I was like, oh, okay, so let me be mindful of birth control. So like I started looking into birth control very early, and then my concept, because I have so many sisters, my concept of birth control was pills. Um, I'm just thinking about it, that not having sex was not even a thing. That was like, I was like, oh, I'll just not have sex. Oh, yeah. But so my concept of birth control was birth control pills when I first started, and that was it. It's just birth control pills. And then so when I started to take birth control, when I was like, okay, I told my mom, I was like, okay, it's gonna start having sex. She's like, okay, get some birth control. So I went to Planned Parenthood, and I got some birth control pills, and they were like, okay, take them. So I was just taking birth control pills, and it was just very, very okay. It's just like a normal thing to take.
Right.
Pills. And I didn't have any physical negative side effects. It was just like this, felt like the same. It was just like, okay, I just know where my period is now. But it's gonna be on these green color days. Green color days. And it was kind of like added a lot of regularity for me. And then I didn't notice that there was something like not very good about it. I didn't realize that my body was like, hey bro, we don't actually like this. Yeah, I was like, oh. It was interesting because I decided to stop using birth control pills. I don't know, it was just kind of like hints from my body. And I don't know how to describe it. Just like my body like, hey, stop doing this. Stop. Like I couldn't even like say anything about it. I was just like, okay, maybe I should try something different. And I had a partner for 10 years. So like that whole 10 years, I was on the pill. And then I was like, okay, so now I'm done with this partner. Like, let me just stop. Let me stop and choose. Be very intentional about choosing what's next for me. And then what's next for me became Minerva? Moderna. Thank goodness. Oh, dude, I'm thinking about it. Okay, COVID. I'm thinking about the COVID thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Moderna or Marina?
Marina. It's Marina. It's not even Moderna. COVID.
I'm Minerva's like a Greek or Roman goddess. Is that right? I like the name Minerva though. Is that right?
No. It might be a cartoon character.
I think I'm Medusa.
Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa.
Is there a Minerva though?
No, Minerva was in like one of those movies. It is the name of one of the movies. It's a childhood thing.
Is it Hercules?
Is that the Medusa?
Like the one with the red hair.
Minerva?
No, like yeah, the goddess looking one with the red hair, the one with the cups. That was on the Hercules cups. Anyways.
Oh, goodness, yeah, we're gonna have to sum that out.
You were on a
We'll list with that. Check it out first and let us know.
What are all these words that we were saying? Wait, what do they mean?
What if we end up at Moderna? No.
Marina. So Marina is 5 year.
Okay.
So at the end, what is that? 5 years?
No, I'm saying like what?
It's a IUD.
Oh, okay.
So they insert it into your uterus, and it like goes in, and they like oil it out. So it just like it's up in there for the whole 5 years. It don't come out. So you basically have this foreign body that's up in your body for 5 years. It's up in your body for 5 years. Okay, so Marina, it's hormonal, but it also uses hormones to regulate the cycle. Okay, so it's in your body. It uses hormones and it regulates the cycle. So like for that period of time, I was like, all right, this is okay. Like I don't have to worry about taking a pill every day. But I noticed that my body was like by year 2, my body's like, hey, we don't want this at all. You don't want nothing to do with this. I was like, what's wrong, body? I ain't having baby shit. What you want? But it's like, nah. I don't want nothing to do with this. And I was, you can hear it, but you like don't really listen. I was hearing and not listening. And then after I took out, after the 5 years was up, I took it out. And I replaced it with a copper IUD. So copper IUD is non-hormonal. I was like, okay, maybe it's the hormones.
Right.
It's like, okay, let me try something that's a little more natural, no hormones, see what my body's doing.
Yeah.
So like the copper IUD was also not good. My body was like, hey, we hate this even more than the last one. Quit playing with us. Stop it. Stop all of this birth control. We done it. We've been here for years. Stop it. And I could hear this from a long time ago, but I wasn't paying attention. Like I wasn't able to accept it. I was scared to be without birth control. I was terrified. I was like, yeah, like if I have a baby, then what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, but then that's so crazy because we all pretty much like spoke in our own little way about like, oh, we the common ground is like we didn't want to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And if we do, what happens?
Right.
What are those choices then? You know what I'm saying? Like for us, it's abortion or have it and then try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, like when a woman has a baby, it's mommy's baby, daddy's maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's not, and that's like a saying.
I haven't heard it. I heard now. No.
But it's like a real country saying. So it's like it's one of those things where like once again it goes back to mainstream family,
Yeah.
you know, generate like what's been passed down. Like, you know, I know if I was to get pregnant, my family would be very supportive, right? But if I wanted to have an abortion too, my parents and my family would still be very supportive. It's kind of like do what's best for you, boo boo. Like you know in that moment what's best for you. And so I just think like birth control in our society and growing up, it's like you take it either one to regulate your period and to control cramps. Like usually if doctors are putting girls on it, they're like, "Oh, this will control your cramps." That's a fucking lie. Like so then after that they do that. And then, or it's a preventative method that you use for contraceptives. And so, but I mean, like, you know, like using birth control isn't the 100% mark. Like if you meant to get pregnant, you get pregnant. It's just like, what do you do after?
And can I talk to that a little bit because we had 2 minutes.
I know we need a whole nother episode for this.
It's a whole nother episode. Okay, so I was thinking about like for me like that fear, that huge fear of getting pregnant. How freaking big that fear is, like in coming up, and then also like that day after pill. How because of that fear, it's like right, I have to take my birth control pill. It's like go to Walgreens, hurry up, get the day
With my $70.
like
Yeah.
but get a little card to be like I need this.
I remember I had a doctor. He was just like, you don't need a 72-hour pill. All you do is you take 4 of your birth control pills, and then 12 hours later, you take 4 more, and that's the equivalent to the morning after pill.
So
No, don't.
Yeah.
that psychology, though, of the fear, I think is really not explored enough in these conversations. And so I really appreciate that. The shame, the societal pressure, let me put it that way, that could be shame-inducing. I think that is really important to pick apart. There's so much that's being done preventatively. I have to, this sense, I would say for me, like, if I have to do this to my body, even though I know this doesn't feel good, because I'm so worried about these alternatives.
Have 1 minute left.
You know, I got way too much to say. I know so no, I'm gonna pause it there. Yeah, pause it there. I mean, I think it is. And you also had said about it being prescribed, the pill being prescribed to regulate cramps and things like that. And I've heard more women doctors speak about, and conversations online around complications from that application of the pill and whether or not that is something that's actually healthy and useful for women or not. Is it masking things for young girls?
Yeah, because it's like, how young? You got girls who are 13 on birth control pill. You know, so it's like, what is the proper age to start taking birth control? You do want to take it. You know what I'm saying? And then also
Applications.
is it right for you? You know what I'm saying? Because you do have to keep trying, testing, and all of that. And now there's so many more holistic avenues that we can go down. That's true for preventative methods. So I think like we just have to be mindful of that. And in that, we want to hear from y'all. Like, what has been your experience? Do you want babies? or maybe you just don't want it right now, and that's okay. Like, what's your thoughts on that? And that kind of links to like the whole abortion talk. And what's been your experience with birth control? And, has it been working for you, or have you had to try multiple forms of birth control? We want to hear from y'all. What are your thoughts?
And I'm curious too. I'm wondering, like, what are the concerns or ideas that you have around birth control? Like, what are the things that are not being expressed? I mean, what are the things that you wish there was more talk about, more information about, more discovery about?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, as always, we are your pussy next door. Let me say. Oh, man. And we always look forward to hearing from you. As always, I'm Davina. You can find me at Just Davina. Maritha?
I'm Maritha Stowe. You can find me at Maritha Doe. I'm just Maritha. So.
And I'm Lindsay at Empower Print. Yes.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned. See y'all next week. Peace.